Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello and welcome back to Everything Possible in the Surge 2. Here we are at the Great Wall. We can see a very large Athena up at the top there battling who knows who. Okay, let's be honest, we know who. It's Eli. But we're going to be making our way through the Great Wall up to the final encounter with Brother Eli. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the gear we'll be using. I'm actually using the exact same setup as I was last time, the Type 11 Overseer with the Eclipse gear and some of the Rhino gear as well. As far as my core power, I have upgraded only once, so now I'm core power 81. You can see 640 health, 260 stamina, and currently 4 batteries are available, although none are filled. Now we're going to be making our way through. Frankly, this area, it's not as full of enemies as some places we've been before. It just so happens though that most of the enemies are very high level. Many of them rank 9 if not 10. Those Techno Genesis areas that we saw at Gideon's Rock before, we're going to be seeing numerous of those, which means that if you haven't gotten the full armor set or all the weapons, you should be able to do so in this area. Let's start by taking the exolift down. You can see already we have a couple of aid members up there taking pot shots. We do have some of the cultists as well. Now to kick this off, this enemy right here, if we're careful and slow, we can actually, oh, well, I was gonna say we could get hit a whole bunch. I was gonna say we can do a backstab, which is totally possible, but unfortunately I missed it. Maybe I just moved a little bit too quickly. All right, let's get the cut here. Now the goal is, at this point, I'm just going to run up. I want to get this kill as quickly as possible and then go take care of those snipers. At least get out of their range. Let's store a couple of batteries. Right here, you can just see it. If you kind of tilt the camera, there is one of the nanite beasts, so we want to step onto the stairs and then back up so we have a little bit of space to work. Luckily with this weapon, the R2 attack does tend to send him reeling, so I can kind of just keep him stun locked like this, which works very, very nicely because there's going to be a few of those. I'm going to be leaving most of the loot and then just cleaning up with the loot scan module that I already have equipped. So a couple of pieces of loot up on some rafters. There's one over here on this platform. I'm going to be showing how to get all those, of course. Let's get a nice deflection. Look at that, 1700 damage. Not too bad. Do a quick bit of mopping up. Now in this next room, we do have the 2 aid members with the rifles, but we also have that not corrupted scientist, but one of the nanite scientists that we saw previously who does have the nanite grenades. So we want to hopefully not get his attention. There we go. He's pathing the other way. And for these guys, just to avoid any real conflict, I'm going to do a backstab, charge up my R1, and then just send him right to his death. This guy not too aware, which is good because we don't want him to get one of those nanite grenades off. If you recall, those are actually fairly dangerous because it leaves the nanites on the ground just for so long. Okay, well, that worked anyway. In case you needed their armor or their weapons, you could always, kill them the old-fashioned way. But inside here we have a new implant, the Metallic Hardener. This is a booster implant, only takes 9 core power, and it increases all physical damage dealt by 10%, as you can see up above, by weapons and drone modules, but it does reduce your elemental. So if you're going for pure, raw physical damage, you do lose 50% elemental, so I wouldn't use this with anything, with poison, fire, nanite, anything like that. But 10% for only 9 core power, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now coming up here, I'm going to pick that up with the loot scan. We could go up, which is of course progression, but then over here we do have a little bit of loot. I'm going to drop down right here. Just a large pile of scrap, but why not grab it while we're here? And then also, that loot pyramid right there is easily accessible just by turning right here where the first aid member was, and I just didn't get it now because I don't want any of the other enemies to spot me. And there we have a large cache of advanced tech and 20,000 scrap for that, which is not too bad at all. Let's do a little mopping up with our loot scan and we can go to the next level. By the way, if you are going to be running past all these enemies, okay, yes, there is some loot back there, we'll be getting that momentarily. If you decide to run past all the enemies that I just killed, some of them will find their way up here, including the nanite beast and including that infected scientist or that nanite scientist. So we have another, okay, this is a very peculiar thing in the high wall. I'm not sure if this is a graphical bug, but you can see here I am highlighting an enemy who appears to be invisible, but in fact, it's then that nanite beast up there. And I can't really do much of anything unless I attack it, which is really bizarre because you can actually damage it even though he's up on the wall. I've had this happen on every practice run I've had of this area, so I'm not sure if it's something that happens repeatedly or if it's something that I've just been, unlucky enough to get many times over. Right, so we do have that cultist right there. We want to take him out, and then right here we're going to be able to create a bridge. Alternatively, if you're careful, and I've had this happen many times, you can run and jump over to that girder, over to that starfish module, and create the bridge. But I definitely find it a little bit safer. Well, kind of want to get this guy. I'm going to wait till he paths back. But it's safer to either take this girder, or more importantly, jump over, attack and kill that enemy, and then you just have a nice safe walk over. Let's let him path over here. Because what we can do, we can also jump back there. There's some nanites, so we want to run, but that's how we can get that loop pyramid, and then we can loop onto that girder. But this is just a little bit more fun. So if we can get targeted on him, and oh, that worked not well at all. I've had it work in my other practices. That's okay. Let's just get the kill nice and quick. Like, the intention, if you didn't already know, was to jump all the way over and then do a plunging attack on him, which does tend to work really well. But as I said, from here, that's progression, but we can just kind of go behind these crates. And what this is going to do, this happens a couple times. This is going to create a bridge actually using Athena herself. So we can see here, what happens is she actually sends her own nanite tendrils, which is great because it gives us a nice safe platform to work. Not that we necessarily even needed it anymore, but it does make it nice just in case we do die. Speaking of, if you die and you have to run through this area again, you're going to be fighting a level 9 infected scientist. Just keep that in mind. All right, now let's go here carefully. Get out of the nanites as quickly as possible. There we go. There's a rig capacitor XXL. And this one for 20 core power consumption. That is a lot, but it prevents the decay of 3 batteries. So if you're building a battery build, that's not easy to say, then that can actually come in really handy. From here, we can't get that loop pyramid just yet, but we can from where we just killed that other cultist. So from here, it's not too dangerous, I assure you, but if we just jump. Now let's try this again. And there we go. Like I said, the jump really isn't that difficult to make. You just actually have to aim towards it and not away from it like I did in my first attempt. Now instead of going forward, we are going to take this little side street. The emergency reserve injection, which we already have collected, that's just going to become some Mark IV circuitry. Hop down this door. This is going to lead to the underground. I'm not going to take it because I don't want to respawn any enemies, but this will bring us to the dark birthing place. This is where we saw the very first infected scientist. And just to show you where it all connects and grab one more piece of loot, we're going to take this magnetic lift down. You can see this loop pyramid. Just to tie it all together, we fought the nanite beast, we fought the cultist. That's the beginning just over there. Grab this large pile of metal scrap. And I want to show you how everything connects. So instead of taking that down, over here, where we first ran through, we could have actually taken this little shortcut or side cut. It's not really cutting off anything. Down underneath. Now, underneath here, you can run, you can jump, you can make it pretty far in all these platforms, but there's nothing over there. There's no enemies, there's no loot, no shortcuts, nothing. So if you want to explore, you go right ahead. Me, I'm just going to run back around, take the mag lift up. I suppose this would actually cut off a few of the enemies. We can take this second mag lift back up. Now, sadly, this is kind of a one-way street. Once we drop down here, we cannot get back up there, at least not directly. So we are going to actually have to go back down. I just wanted to show how everything connects. This area, it's a nice little area. It's kind of interesting from a lore standpoint. You know, they built this giant wall to stave off the surge, and now it's actually the home of Brother Eli, the most dangerous one afflicted by the surge. Or I guess he wasn't really afflicted by it, but he embraced it, so to speak. But frankly, a lot of these shortcuts and whatnot are just not that useful. I've definitely seen the developers employ some much better level design. There's a nice, really good look at Athena, and we're going to get even closer here in just a moment. We got to kill this one enemy, then we're going to grab an audio log, and while we listen to that, we will zipline down closer to Athena. Kind of thought you might die there. There we go. And as I said, let's give this a quick listen while we zipline down. This is going to open up a first shortcut, which this one, I'll be honest, is actually pretty useful.
This isn't about me. It never was. The nanite swarm chose me for a purpose. Saving humanity is my fate. I will save everyone. The children of the spark. The people of Jericho City. The girl in the swarm corrupted by her power. And yes, even you. Warrior.
Actually addressing us directly in that audio log, he still sees himself as the savior of mankind. Large pile of metal scrap. We are going to be opening this door from the other side, which will make an even better shortcut, very, very close to the final boss confrontation. Let's give this echo a listen, and then I'm going to show you that this brings us right down to the med station.
Quickly! Scale the wall and fight alongside me. I can't hold him back much longer.
Athena definitely losing the battle against Brother Eli. Be prepared when you fight Brother Eli. Not a difficult battle. In fact, probably one of the easier boss battles in my opinion. But you have to make a choice at the end of it. And that choice not only determines, I guess, what kind of person in this game you are, but also the reward you ultimately get. So we're back at the beginning here. Let's do some backtracking. We don't want to run through all that again. Instead, let's just take a couple of exo lines back. There's exo line number 1. And number 2. You probably already saw, but here in the central outlook, we do have another infected scientist. Right here, I'm going to go for the arm. Get a couple of good hits before he starts really coming after us with that extendable arm. Oh, thought I would have had the perfect deflection there. That one always seems to be a lot more reliable for me. Not sure why that is. There's the door forward, but don't forget this loot crate. Inside, we have the Nano Absorber EX. We've already looked at this before. Remember when we had our friend St. Croix, we had the option, let me use my batteries here. We had the option of giving him that implant or keeping it for ourselves. I said we were going to get another one later, which is why we gave it to him, and lo and behold, there it is. So here we have kind of the central staircase. We're going to be in the staircase a few times. As we go down, nothing behind that crate there. But you can see where we are. That's where we created the Athena bridge, right there. So we could always hop back down. If you weren't comfortable grabbing that loop pyramid that we jumped to, you could always take this staircase down to it. Obviously a lot safer that way. But as I said, we're going to be in the staircase a few times, but let's go back up kind of towards where we entered. Right there, that's where the scientist just was. Now right here, we have a little bit of an ambush. There are a couple of girders that they want us to cross, and they're even tempting us with a loop pyramid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my lace pistol, bring this guy towards me. I don't need to kill him. This will, though. He said confidently, and then not killing with one shot, rather embarrassingly. You can just make out the enemy over there who's going to take shots at you if you go for that loop pyramid. Instead, just sprint over to the side, and then you can easily run behind this wall and get the drop on him. He's even so oblivious that you can get a backstab on him. I call it a backstab, but I think you know what I mean. Wait till the reticle appears. Oh, it appeared and then I missed it. That's alright. That'll do the job for me. Just run over here nice and carefully. Grab that large pile of metal scrap. As I almost walk off the edge, still just using my loot scan module to do my cleanup. Up here we have another audio log, so as I proceed, killing this nanite beast and then the infected scientist, I'm going to run up there and give that one a listen so we don't have to stand around and wait for me.
It's a sight to behold, isn't it? The Great Wall of Jericho. Yeah, it serves its purpose well. You really think it'll contain the nanites? Look, don't make me laugh. Have you seen the blueprints? It's basically just a bunch of giant magnets. But why did we build it in the first place if everything's hopeless? One word, kickback. Listen, I don't care if you want to save your family or whatever. Some people believe in the wall, others pay big money for it. It's all about politics. Everything has its use, for somebody. And that's good enough for me.
Just some commentary on the Great Wall and what its purpose really is. So if the battery charged dead ahead, I'm going to... Actually, you know what? I can use that because it will stay and it will not decay. So another little ambush here. They're expecting us, rightfully so, to go and just grab... Whoop! Go grab that loot pyramid. Instead, I'm going to grab my laser pistol because we have another robo-dog shooting at us with some grenades. So let's just knock him down with the laser pistol. And see if we can take off the tail. Of course we can, nice and easy. Replenish our Omni cells, can't hurt. Now there is nanite in here, so we want to be very careful that we don't stay in it too long. And then up here, this is another spot where we get some kind of phantom nanite beast. So let's attack one at a time. Luckily, once again, I can just keep them stun locked, which is just such a beautiful thing, because I know in the beginning, when we first encounter them in Gideon's Rock, they can be a little bit formidable. Now we have this strange position, careful with the nanites, of this mag lift. I'm going to show you how to get to it. You kind of have to take a little bit of a leap of faith. Med station here, but first let's take the central stairs down, just to show you where this spits us out. And there we go. That's where the ambush was. I didn't actually show this door off, but as we came up the stairs, now we have another quicker way back up. This door we will also be opening very, very shortly. Heading back topside, let's attack this other phantom nanite beast. And terrible at the perfect deflections on them, so might as well just stun lock. Get the arm cut for the free delicious upgrade materials. Using our starfish to unlock this drone. Excuse me, this mag lift. Right, so from here, this is where we're going to take our flying leap. We're going to have some Techno Genesis enemies here coming up very, very shortly. But from here, we want to make our jump over to that platform. There we go. Not too bad. And then over here, grab this large cache of advanced tech. Once again, 20,000. Not too bad at all. We can drop down there. That's where the med station is. I actually forgot to show that off, so I will grab that as we go down. This is that oddly placed mag lift. Seems rather just out of place. This is that door that I just showed off. There's the central staircase. So let's take that back up. Let me show you where the location of the med station is. It won't do anything for us, but right up here. Remember, with med stations, this will either top you off, or as it says up there, it'll give you one pre-charge of your currently selected injectable. Not bad, even if you're at full health, if you're just missing one of those pre-charges. But now I want to go back that way, because as you can see, yes, that's one way, and that just took us to that door, which really doesn't do a whole lot of good, but we have another mag lift that goes even higher, so we're going to jump right back, this time head up. And from here, you're probably expecting this door to open, but instead we can just drop down. Now, when we drop down, gotta be wary, there is a corrupted scientist right dead ahead. Okay, plus we're gonna do some backtracking, and we'll have some Techno Genesis enemies to deal with. So let's take care of him first. It's my favorite move that he starts with typically. That is not my favorite move if I can't get the deflection on it. Way too early there. Oh, just missed it. All right, let's just do a couple of easy attacks. There it is. And there's the cut. Oh, and the Techno Genesis enemy has found me. From where? Oh, there he is, up above. As you remember, he is going to split as soon as we start dealing any damage. Oh, uh-oh. And we're now caught in this, so we need to get some attacks. We almost got the cut on this one, though, which is good. What's not good, though, is how close we are to death. Heal up. Yeah, handle that very, very poorly. Normally, he doesn't actually path down. And you can see this is the spear-wielding one. Take care of his arm, and finally, we got them dead, but we also now get their last weapon, which is the Pillar of Oblivion. This is obtained by cutting off the right arm of the heavy-duty weapon-wielding enemy. The Pillar of Oblivion, dealing 412 damage, 29 impact, 100% attack speed, 110% energy gain, 139% stamina consumption, and 23 nano damage. Sadly, not as good as the weapon I'm currently wielding. All right, let's just mop up a little bit here. And as I said, we're going to do just some backtracking so you can see where this all ties together. Grab this free battery. Here's another Techno Genesis. Now, ideally, I'd like to do more damage to him before he splits. That is perfect. Actually got one killed as the other one spawned. That works for me. Oh, and sadly, we're going to miss out on the headgear. At least on this one. Because he just doesn't have it. That's the last one that we need on this character for the full set. You can see just doing some very, very quick work with this Type 11 Overseer. Alright, gotta start storing some of my charges because we are hurting. Now I'm going to drop down here. I'm going to show you where we would have come out here in just a moment, but I'm going to listen to this as I loop around and grab a little bit of loot in that loot pyramid.
Work on the upper sectors has come to a standstill. We're running out of materials. Government support is getting more chaotic by the hour. I haven't even been able to pay my builders for weeks. It's getting more and more dangerous to climb any higher. Well, I really can't afford another accident.
A little bit ominous with that accident. So we're going to run and jump to this platform just to show you this is where we would have come out. So this is where we did our 2 leaps of faith right from here. And now it spit us out exactly where we would have been. Just coming over here, grabbing this little bit of hidden loot, large pile of tech scrap, nothing to complain about. See if I can make this jump back. I cannot. In practice, I get that maybe one every other time. Do a little bit of mopping up just in case. And luckily the way forward is relatively clear now. Corrupted Scientist, even though he's looking rather alive, he is quite not. Over here, you don't actually have to jump over or even come back down this girder. You can grab these lithium polymer cells just from that side of the barricade. Right, so from here, we don't have too many enemies coming up. We do actually have quite the battle that we're going to, well, bypass thanks to Athena's help. So we're going to approach this kind of slowly. Gonna break some of these so we can get a better view here. We have a number of the 8 enemies. See some nanite bees coming in. They're going to engage the 8 enemies. And what we can do, because they're gonna do a number on those nanite bees, we can just run past them all and very quickly run over to the other side where there is another EMP starfish module. And Athena's gonna come in and kill them all for us. Not too bad. Even if they make it up here and there's clearly no collision with that hitbox, she will still clear all of them for you. So let them kill the nanite bees and then just run past, and you will not have too much more to worry about. Alright, so we're going to unlock one more shortcut here. We're very close to Brother Eli. You can see he's just up there. But first, let's grab this other audio log, and I'll listen to that as we unlock the shortcut.
I will make it, sir. Go on without me. Get your act together. No man gets left behind while I'm in charge. It's not hurting anymore. That's good. Now get up and fight, Joe. Joe? Joe!
Let's get an F in the comments for our friend Joe. Another audio log as we continue to unlock these shortcuts. The lore is strong in this one.
One by one, they drop like flies. With every sacrifice, I feel more powerful, more liberated. At last, I have become the spark incarnate. Soon, my true power shall be revealed for the whole world to see. The spark will strike. The world will change!
And by this one, I did mean this episode, not so much that audio log. That's just further proof of his insanity. So let's take this exolift back up. Just a few more enemies in between us. And the final confrontation with Brother Eli, who is now lovingly referred to as Archangel Eli. Archangel? I've heard it both ways.
Everyone's dead. I'm the last man standing. I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, this crazy preacher waltzes through the battlefield like a tank. Next thing I know, he wipes out both sides with a flick of his finger. And then, just a few minutes later, that snake goes crazy. The pain's unbearable. It's too late for me. Please have mercy and kill me.
This is your call. But spoiler alert, if you come back through this area after it's reloaded because you died or, well, maybe you just turned the game off, Major Collins isn't going to be with us anymore anyway, so he did ask us. Here is the only other medbay here. If you want to rest right before the final confrontation, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. At this point, I am not.
My life force is fading. Rush to my side and charge.
Oh, don't forget, gonna get some scrap when that disappears. One more Techno Genesis enemy here that I clearly remembered about, and he has the head, which is perfect. Okay, let's just keep doing damage. And back up. We should be able to get that break on him nice and easily. And the other one's actually very well damaged as well. You know what we could do is actually... Oh! Get the kill on him? Did he just die? Because I definitely didn't want him to. I don't know if I got the tech scrap for killing him or not. Oh well. I can always come back and farm for the head. It's not too difficult. Not too difficult at all. You see that one more aid member right behind that door? That's going to be another very, very minor shortcut for us. Now be very careful about this. In fact, you know what? This is what I always like to do here. Overkill, absolutely. But I love to kill him using that missile and just a couple either shots with a lace pistol or a grenade, because if you rush at him to kill him, you also then have to fight one of the corrupted scientists. And let me tell you, they are already difficult enemies by themselves, let alone when you have to couple them with this guy. Let's get him out of those nanites. I don't want to be fighting him in there. There's a good deflection. It always takes a little bit longer than you would imagine to get that deflection on him. Perfect. So he is dead. That's the way forward, but there is another small section over here just to one more loot cache. You don't even have to use the mag lift. Just walk down here. And inside we have the critical muscular shunt, another new implant. For 20 core power consumption, when your health is low, you will regenerate health and your damage is increased. Damage is increased by 6%, elemental damage by 14%, and 30% health restoration. Not too bad, but again, 20 core power. A little bit on the high side if you ask me. And from here, we're at the peak. We just have one more enemy in between us and Brother Eli. What I want to do is actually get over here quickly just so I can get that block. Perfect. There we are. Get the kill. Open this up for a large pile of tech scrap. And just open up this, again, very, very minor shortcut, but a shortcut nonetheless. Let's do a little mopping up just in case. And as we approach the summit, we have one more major echo to witness.
One blessed with the power of creation. One with the power of destruction. Our final clash will decide the fate of the world, little girl. The Harbingers have lent me their power to snuff out everything you've given life to in a final act of mercy.
Defeat Brother Eli. Our final battle is about to begin.
Now, your power shall become mine, and mine alone. Humanity will be consumed by a glorious blaze, reborn in a cleansing fire. Too late, warrior. Nothing can stop me now. With Athena's power, I can bend reality to my will. All hail Eli, the spark incarnate!
So this is Archangel or Archangel Eli. He does have 4 shields, so we have to block him quite a few times. In order to get... Oh, careful. In order to get the special weapon, we do... we do need to break all of his armor once. So it's not too bad, but we do have to get it one time before we actually get the kill. Okay, there is the first deflection. Almost have his head broken. And there's one. So let's just back up, store some more health charges. I'm gonna focus on the body next. I do have my laser pistol equipped. That is one of the few drone modules that I really do recommend in this, and you're gonna see why hopefully here in a moment. So we have 3 more deflections, and let's see, what do we have? This spinning sword attack. Some people would recommend that you go and you get some free damage in there when he does it. The problem is that follow-up attack that he does, if you don't avoid it, then what happens is he actually gets you in an unblockable grab, which can be very, very devastating. And we just need, oh, run away when he does this. Some of these waves of these nanite spikes after you. Okay, there we go. So these floating nanite pillars, you want to take them down with your laser pistol as soon as you can. Otherwise, eventually they're going to fly at you, almost like the Delver fight, and do quite a bit of damage. There it is. And chest is broken. Let's focus on his arm next. Don't get caught in these traps. It can be very, very dangerous. It is a good time to run up and actually attack him, though. Oh, wow. That was quick. There's a good block. Wasn't actually locked onto him anymore, which is a shame. Oh, tried to get the block off, but I'm also... There we go. Got that last pillar. These are really, really good opportunities to get some good deflections if you can time it right. Almost got that arm. Run away. And let's get up nice and close. What do you got for me here? Missed it. Okay, good. Got that deflection. Missed that one. Okay, back up. Taking too much damage here. Almost got that arm, though. Okay, got, I believe, that arm. Not quite. But you know what? There we go. Just use the laser pistol, do a little bit of damage, which is perfect. Don't want to do too much. Okay, shoot these down. There we are. Perfect. Back on his left arm. And what do you got for me now? Okay, flurry. Okay, blocked one of those successfully. There it is. Perfect. Back up. After this, it'll just be the legs. All right, here's a spinning sword attack. Like I said, I like to just stay far away and don't even try to block that one. Okay, back up, back up. Let's see. Might as well break that. There we are. So just the legs left. Back up, back up. And he's going to do the sword downward. There we are. Oh, a little bit of damage. Not too bad. I actually like when he summons those because I can get in nice. Watch that attack. Not too bad. All right, running out of. There we are. Of my ammo. And also having a little bit hard time with the targeting. Should be okay. Back up. Perfect. That's good. All right, run away, run away, run away. We might start using our pistol a little bit more if we have to. All right, what do you got for me? I would live. There we go. That's actually really, really good. I should be able to break that leg. One more. One more to get his special weapon. Let's back up. If we can get the deflection, this will be perfect. That ought to do it. Okay, don't get greedy. I am going to just use my lace pistol to break it. There we go. So now I can just focus on getting the kill. Save some stamina, though. In fact, you know what? I can actually use some grenades. And almost got him. Let's actually see if we can finish him with a deflection. Because that, I think, would be... Can't move. I just want to finish him with a flare. There we go. That ought to do it. There it is. Eli is finally offline. We got the Great Blade of the Archangel version 2.0. This is a heavy-duty weapon dealing 523 damage, coming in at a Mark 10. 31 impact, 102% attack speed, 110% energy gain, 150% stamina consumption, and 21 nanite damage. And let me tell you, that weapon does some work. And just look how cool it looks. Now remember, I said we now have a choice.
It can't be. Was I wrong all this time? Maybe I truly deserve oblivion. You shall be my judge, warrior.
At this point, your loot is dependent on what choice you make. Are you going to become an executioner and take him down, or are you going to give him a second chance? I guess it really depends on, well, how you feel about Brother Eli and the decisions he's clearly made, as well as what armor you want to get. Two very similar armors with partial set bonuses that are very different, but both very, very powerful. At this point, I feel like he does deserve another chance. I'm a softie. I think everyone does. I'm also going to show you what it looks like if you do kill him.
Perhaps humanity deserves to exist, after all.
The set for sparing Archangel Eli is the Archangel set. It is a Goliath class armor set. The partial set bonus significantly increases all elemental damage, while the full set bonus unleashes an elemental force surrounding you every time you perform a finishing sequence. Whereas if you kill Archangel Eli, you get the Dark Prophecy set, another Goliath Cloth armor set. This time the partial set bonus is triggering nano affliction on enemies restores health. If you're using a nanite weapon, which many of us at this point are, you will get health back rather quickly. It does have the same full set bonus, however. Regardless of what decision you make, you can purchase the alternate schematics from both Molly Fox and Highball, the bartender in Cloud9 Bar, once you've reached them in New Game Plus.
Thank you so much. You never stopped fighting. Never stopped believing. I always knew you'd save me. But now, it's time to look ahead. I can look right into your heart. I know what the reward you desire so much is. Your compassion and love are what make you whole. In the beginning, you were but an empty shell. But now, you've become the person I always knew you could be. You truly belong with the other humans. You are one of them. Deep down, you always have been. Maybe we were asking the wrong question. Being made by humans, machines will never be pure. They will always carry their heritage. By design, they can never be without flaws. But maybe they don't have to be perfect. Maybe all they need is a soul.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything possible in The Surge 2. Now, technically that's not true. Number one, there's some DLC, and I will be covering the DLC here very, very soon. But there's also just a little bit extra in New Game Plus. I'm going to be covering that in its own separate, very short video. Personally, I'm not a New Game Plus kind of player. I love to play this through the story. I love to play on different characters and try different builds. But that's about it. Once I get to the end, I would rather start over than actually start over on New Game Plus. That's just me. This game, though, there's just a little bit different in that there are more difficult enemies, like Techno Genesis enemies in certain boss fights, which just sounds absolutely insane. But there's actually a completely different opening to the game. We wake up in a prison. Or not a prison, but a hospital. Whereas in New Game Plus, you actually take over in the airplane after it's been struck with a piece of the rocket at the end of the surge, and you have a chance to save someone. So I'm going to be showing that in a different video. But if you've enjoyed this series, please let me know in the comments below. If you learned something, definitely let me know. And if I missed something, or if you have a better strategy for defeating Archangel Eli, put that in the comments so we can all keep learning. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Just ignore all those deaths. You only saw a couple of them.